Bangalore has been an ecosystem where I never had to take out a flight to sort of, meet an investor. Investors used to essentially fly down. So I think capital is one of the very most important ecosystem enabler which we need to solve, because capital is also a validation for the entrepreneur. Let's say, assuming I'm an entrepreneur, I'm building a problem statement. Now, I drink my own Kool-Aid every day. I think whatever I'm building is the best. The most important test is when you go and tell a person that, hey, I'm building this. Would you give me, a few lakhs of rupees which I'm going to invest and burn in my company? Are you okay with it? Then the person says no, right? That's when you get to know that, okay, I'm not probably building the right direction. So capital generally is a very strong validator of what you're building. And the second biggest thing, which I think Ys Jagan should probably never ever have any problem with, because, which I think yesterday Honorable CM also was mentioning in his, statement that, globally 1 out of 4 people is IT in Indian, and in IT 1 out of 4 is like Andhrites, and even at Blackbuck I think 40 to 50% of the people in technology are Andhrites, right? So I think Ys Jagan, you will not have a talent density problem. I think if people you find would be far richer, would really want to work from this particular place, I think that's the second biggest sort of enabler. And in these enablers typically are launched onto a platform which I think Andhra is very blessed with, because I think this is probably the first government and the people like you, Lokesh, have spoken to, who understand what is innovation, who understand what does it take to build companies, who understand how to create change. He mentioned one statement in his opening speech: we will change the laws, in line with what entrepreneurship needs, right? It's a very heavy statement to make, and I think if the intent is like that, Ys Jagan has a platform which basically is really, catalyzing and lubricating this entire ecosystem to build out. And I think the parts which I talked about, I think capital, which probably is again a network effects ecosystem, I think that's something which probably can easily be solved by, by the frameworks, by the two people sitting on the right and left to me, right? And yes, so I feel the critical mass has to be solved. Maybe we need those, 10 success stories. If that happens, I think, we just start rolling, and I think we'll find ourselves maybe, 4-5 years down the line, things are activated and we are speaking as if, it was a problem of the past.
Absolutely. We need those hero startups that will then spawn and set off the ecosystem in AP as well. Now I move on to Mr. Satish Andhra. Sir, you've been one of the most prominent voices of capital in the Telugu states. It's great to have an investor lens here through you. What would you say are the steps we need to do to de-risk a young founder?
And when are you moving to Ys Jagan? I think that's the next question I would have.
Yeah. No, I'll definitely be spending a lot of time here in Ys Jagan. Yeah. Datri, I'm from Anantapur. I'm glad it's called Anantapuramu now, not Pur. So, and my last name is...
Anantapuram now has in Andhra Pradesh, 26 districts.
Right.
It's the 5th district in per capita income. So Rayalaseema cannot claim backward district anymore.
Sure. So, and my last name is Andhra. So, a lot of people in Hyderabad question why I'm in Hyderabad after the division. But anyway, fun apart. I think one of the key things we need to recognize is that there are different types of enterprises. I think you look at, there could be a lifestyle business, there could be an SME, there would be a startup, there could be a social enterprise. So it's extremely important to look at all kinds of enterprises. From Honorable Chief Minister's perspective, when he talks about one family, one entrepreneur, absolutely you need to address all of these segments to ensure that there is inclusion, there is contribution towards GDP. I know a lot of us are very biased because yes, India needs to build more unicorns. We're the second largest ecosystem right now because China, entrepreneurs are building for the nation now. So US and India, we're building for the globe. So very clearly, let's look at data. A lot of times, tourism industry is as big as IT services industry in this country, right? And if you look at dairy industry, it's 50% of the IT industry in this country. A lot of times, without really looking at data, we get very biased because all of us keep hearing the same stories again and again and again. So the reason why I want to highlight this is it's extremely important we recognize all of these enterprises. MSME needs are very different. Startup needs are very different. The capital needs, it's risk capital, non-linear growth gets rewarded, right? Versus a local enterprise, a small enterprise needs are very different. So how do you connect? So there will be Andhra entrepreneurs building for Andhra entrepreneurs building for India, Andhra entrepreneurs building for the region, which includes Southeast Asia and GCC, and Andhra entrepreneurs building for the globe. So we need to look at those aspects as well and kind of connect all the dots. I think what is unique about RTIH, Honorable CM's vision and Lokesh Garu's vision is that if you really look at how do you reduce the risk? You reduce the risk. We have plenty of talent. Now, how do you connect that talent to customers? How do you connect that talent to capital? And how do you connect that talent to infrastructure? How do you institutionalize that framework of connecting an entrepreneur in any of these segments to capital, customer, and infrastructure? And I think RTIH has a very pivotal role to play. And the way it's structured, it's so unique that you've got a hub, you've got the spokes, you've got the industry, you've got the academia, you've got the centers of excellence, and pretty soon there will be a fund, and there will be a bunch of funds actually, not just one fund. There should be a fund for startups and innovation, there should be a fund for SMEs, there should be a fund for social enterprises, fundamentally, and a mentor network that kind of handholds each of these entrepreneurs depending on their requirements, because in the end, every entrepreneur creates wealth, shares wealth, creates employment, contributes to the GDP, both direct taxes, indirect taxes, and we have to empower all of them. And that's what I think is the vision of Honorable CM and Lokesh Garu, and RTIH, I'm sure, is going to play a pivotal role, and we're all here to support, the entire state to kind of leapfrog everyone out there. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I'll have you talk about the fund in the next round of questions. But just as a follow-up to the answer that you've given, what can we, RTIH and the state of Andhra Pradesh do to better help VCs connect their capital with talent in AP and also enable them to enter the state faster?
I think Rajesh talked about capital validation. I'm a very firm believer that capital chases talent. It's not the other way around, right? So when there is talent, I think investors are greedy. They go everywhere where they can find talent. And also today, entrepreneurs have to look at we're a connected world. While there is geopolitical scenario out there, a best entrepreneur raises capital from where it's plentifully available, builds it where it is inexpensive, markets it where they get a premium, and exits where they get the highest valuation. So you have to have that mindset, right, to be able to do that. So to me, I think let's create success stories. I think you've seen, in Pulala Gopichand Academy, I always take this example, right? Prakash Padukone, not to belittle anyone, all of these are great sportsters. He set it up 30 years ago. Pulala Gopichand, again, Honorable CM played a big role, obviously supporting the ecosystem. 15 years ago or 10 years ago, he set up the academy, and you've got plenty of players in the top rankings of the world, right? Badminton. Success breeds success. When I see someone becoming successful, I get inspired. And then I say, oh, I can do it too, because, someone I see every day is able to do it. Now I will leapfrog because I take that playbook and I go a step further and I can do it even better. So to me, I think let's absolutely find that talent, support that talent, and showcase that talent. You will be, obviously saying no to many of the investors because they'll all be calling you.